My wife turned to me during dinner and said, "Mark, James is in town. Can I see him?" 5 simple words that would shatter everything I thought I knew about my marriage. 5 words that would reveal a betrayal so deep, so calculated that even now, months later, I still can't believe how blind I was. But here's the thing. This isn't just about cheating. This is about discovering that the person you've shared your bed with for 8 years has been living a double life so elaborate it makes Hollywood movies look like children's fairy tales. Before we dive in, please subscribe. It means the world to us and helps us bring you more amazing stories. Now, let me take you back to that Tuesday evening in October. Started like any other Tuesday. Sarah had made her famous lasagna, the one she only made on special occasions. I should have known something was up, but I was too busy complaining about my boss to notice the signs. We'd been married for 8 years. High school sweethearts who'd built what I thought was the perfect life together. Sarah worked as a marketing coordinator at a local firm. I was an accountant at a mid-sized company. We had our dream house, 2 cars, and plans for kids next year. James Morrison. I'd heard that name exactly 3 times in 8 years of marriage. Sarah's old college friend who lived in Chicago. She'd mention him casually. "Oh, James got a promotion," or "James is traveling to Europe." Nothing that ever raised red flags. So, when she asked if she could see him during his visit, I didn't hesitate. "Of course," I said, twirling my fork in the lasagna. "It's been, 5 years since you've seen him? You should definitely catch up." The relief that flashed across her face should have been my first clue. But I was a trusting husband. I believed in my wife. I believed in us. "Maybe we could all grab dinner," I suggested. "I'd love to finally meet this mysterious James." Sarah's fork clinked against her plate. "Actually, he's only in town for 1 night, and he specifically wanted to catch up with just me. You know how it is with old friendships. Sometimes you need that one-on-one time to really reconnect." I nodded. Made perfect sense. I even offered to make myself scarce for the evening, maybe catch a movie with my buddy Dave. "You're amazing, Mark," she said, reaching across to squeeze my hand. "This is why I love you so much." That was the last genuine "I love you" I would ever hear from my wife. Thursday night arrived. Sarah spent 2 hours getting ready, longer than she'd spent preparing for our own anniversary dinner. She wore the black dress I'd bought her for her birthday, the one she said was too fancy for anywhere we go. I kissed her goodbye at 6:30 p.m. "Have fun catching up with James," I said. "I will," she replied, and for just a moment, something flickered in her eyes. Guilt, excitement, I couldn't tell. I went to see the new action movie with Dave, grabbed a beer afterward, and got home around 11 p.m. Sarah wasn't back yet. But that didn't surprise me. Good friends can talk for hours, especially when they haven't seen each other in years. I fell asleep watching Netflix. I woke up at 2 a.m. to Sarah sliding into bed. "How was dinner?" I mumbled. "Great," she whispered. "We have so much history to catch up on." Friday morning, she was different, happier. She hummed while making coffee, smiled at her phone more than usual. I figured seeing an old friend had just lifted her spirits. But then I found the receipt. I was looking for batteries in Sarah's purse. She'd said I could grab some for the remote when I saw it. Room service for 2 champagne strawberries. Total time in room 6 hours. My hands started shaking. I sat on our bed staring at that piece of paper, trying to make sense of it. Maybe James was staying at the hotel and they'd hung out in his room. Maybe there was an innocent explanation. But 6 hours and room service champagne. I did what any husband would do. I called the hotel. "Hi, I'm calling about a guest who stayed last night. James Morrison. I think I left something in his room." "I'm sorry, sir, but we don't have any guest by that name registered last night." The room wasn't registered under James Morrison. It was registered under Sarah Collins, my wife's maiden name. That's when I realized I didn't know my wife at all. I became a detective in my own marriage. I started small, checked our credit card statements going back 6 months, found charges I'd never noticed before, hotel rooms in cities where Sarah claimed she had worked conferences, expensive dinners for 2 when she said she was eating alone, lingerie purchases that never made it into our bedroom. I installed a phone tracking app on our shared computer. Something I never thought I'd do. Sarah's location history told a story that broke my heart. Monthly trips to Chicago, weekend visits to James's apartment. She'd even spent our last anniversary weekend with him while telling me she was at a work retreat. But here's the twist that nearly destroyed me. I found their text messages. Not recent ones. Sarah was too smart for that. But backed up in our cloud storage were months of exchanges I was never supposed to see. Can't wait to see you next week. Babe, Mark thinks I'm visiting my sister. The way you kissed me goodbye at the airport made leaving so hard. Sometimes I wish we could just run away together and start over. And then I found the one that stopped my heart. I know this sounds crazy, but I've been thinking, what if I left him? What if we stopped hiding and just lived our lives? I love you so much more than I ever loved Mark. James' response. I want that too. But let's be smart about this. Make sure you get your half of everything first. That house of yours is worth a lot of money. They weren't just having an affair. They were planning to destroy my life and cash in on it. I could have confronted Sarah immediately, could have screamed, thrown her out, called a lawyer, but I needed to know the full truth. So I set a trap. I told Sarah I had to travel for work the following week. Complete lie. Instead, I booked myself into a hotel across town and waited. Sure enough, James happened to be in town again. Sarah was going to see her old college friend for dinner. I followed them, watched them check into the same hotel where I'd found the receipt, watched my wife of 8 years kiss another man like she'd never kissed me. But I still wasn't done. I waited until they went upstairs, then called Sarah's phone from the hotel lobby. "Hey, honey," I said when she answered breathless. "How's dinner with James?" "Oh, it's great," she lied smoothly. "We're just finishing up at that little Italian place downtown." "That's wonderful. Say hi to James for me." "I will." I hung up and walked to the elevator. When I knocked on room 237, Sarah answered the door in a hotel bathrobe. The look on her face when she saw me standing there. It's an image that will haunt me forever. "Mark," she whispered. "What are you doing here?" Behind her, James Morrison, a man I'd never seen before, but somehow recognized immediately, was pulling on his clothes. I said calmly, "we need to talk. The details of what happened next don't matter as much as what I learned." Sarah had been living a double life for over 2 years. She'd met James at a marketing conference, not in college like she'd claimed. They'd been planning her exit strategy for months, timing it perfectly to maximize her financial gain from our divorce. The woman I trusted with my heart, my future, my dreams, had been systematically dismantling our life while I slept beside her every night. But here's the thing about betrayal. It teaches you who you really are. I'm not the man who begs someone to stay who doesn't want to be there. I'm not the man who fights for someone who's been fighting against me for years. I filed for divorce the next morning. Sarah tried to play the victim, claimed it was complicated, said she never meant for it to happen this way. James apparently disappeared back to Chicago the moment things got real. 6 months later, I'm rebuilding my life. It's not the life I planned, but it's honest. It's mine. And every day I wake up grateful that I don't have to wonder if the person next to me is living a lie. Sometimes the greatest betrayal is also the greatest gift. It shows you the truth. If this story resonated with you, or if you've got your own tale of betrayal and survival, drop a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove truth really is stranger than fiction. Until next time, trust your instincts. They're usually trying to tell you something important.